Oh, hi there. It is midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. It's really quiet out here tonight in Louisiana. Here's my cane that I made. He's a little snake. I had to bust out the cane again. Having a little problem with my legs again. Nothing major. I can still walk on them. It's just there's some pain. I just posted something on the blog about psychopaths and how in Scientology it's good training to become a psychopath. Probably doesn't come as a big surprise to most of you. If you'd like, you can check my blog out. But I've spoken with some other ex-Scientologists and connected up with some groups on Facebook. And I'll be honest, having been a guild leader in an online gaming guild with communities that are extremely competitive to a point to it's just toxic, I don't know if it's worth it. At least not right now. Possibly ever. I've said all that I needed to say, and I've reached out to people to give a more complete picture of what the entire experience on staff is like from the beginning stages of you indoctrinating yourself to being a full-blown Scientologist. I don't know if anybody, I don't know if, I think that it's going to be lost on a lot of people. I had an idea to present something in a certain way, to actually show the conditions on staff. But where I'm at right now in my life, I don't have much to go on. I don't have resources to do something like this. I have the knowledge, I have the skill, but it doesn't feel like I have the support. I feel like I'm pretty much the only one speaking out against it and talking about it. Not speaking out against it, but I'm the only one talking about the specific experience that I had with others. And I'm not going to try to pressure anybody into, and hopefully I haven't. I just, I've talked about the idea. Most people that I talk to are receptive to it and okay with it, but it would require, resources I don't have to make it happen. So, again, I have reached out to multiple people who would have who I thought would have had some sort of advice or guidance to offer, but I don't have a good feeling about it. And I went a couple of steps further in, you know, finding groups that may be sort of aligned with what I would like to show. And I don't know who's what, what's who, who's what. I mean, it's a very confusing series of networks out there. So I know a lot of you, I know a lot of the subscribers, every one of you, the exception of the few new people who have subscribed, have been following me for a long time, and have been here for me in ways that my own family hasn't. Been very understanding, very compassionate. But I'm just not sure anymore if it's worth talking about anymore. I know for a fact that telling the stories is not worth spending the time, because I firmly believe that telling the stories is simply a novelty. You know, people want to hear a story, a fucked up story about a cult. What did you experience? What was it like? Same questions, you know. Did you believe in Xenu? Did you do this? Is it true that this? Whatever. And I've answered all those questions over and over again. And I've offered an alternative solution to explaining what the real dangers of Scientology are. And I don't feel like there is quite as much of an interest, and I'm kind of at my wit's end on that, to be honest. I spoke with someone today who said he'd been in a court case with Scientology for 3 years, and I've never even heard of the guy. So, what the hell is it that he was in court for? You know, and what I'm about to say doesn't pertain to him. I'm not gonna single anybody out, but I do want to single him out and say, because I just met this guy. I don't even know him, but this doesn't pertain to him. I am not the type of person who is seeking to gain some sort of celebrity status out of talking about Scientology. I'm not looking to make this big popular YouTube channel where people come and see the freak show and talk about the freak show. If anything, my goal was to show life-like conditions on staff and let that be the statement, because that is where you would see the real abuses. Hearing about it is one thing, seeing it is another. I don't have the resources to produce this. I have the skills, and I have the talent or the cooperation of others who were on staff as well to make it happen, but I don't have the resources. To put it bluntly, I don't have the budget, I don't have the money, I'm not going to beg for it. I've already presented it to people, in my opinion, who could make it happen, so it's clearly not something that people want to see, or at least people who could make a difference want to promote. Maybe that's a little jaded of me to say that, but that's just my gut feeling. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, you know, my father is a very wise person, very smart person. Been through a lot in life, suffered a lot in his childhood, made a lot of mistakes. And he's taught me a lot about how to go with my gut feeling. And my gut feeling tells me at this point that right now is a circus. Right now is the time it's popular to be an ex-Scientologist. There's a sort of a mini feeding frenzy, and people gobble it up, all of the Scientology content they can. And if people really wanted to know what Scientology was about, they would show it. And they're not showing it. So perhaps one day, whenever I have thousands of dollars at my disposal and the means to fly all these people to where I need to fly them, so that we can show what it's like to be on staff, then I will do that. But until then, I'm not really finding the anti-Scientology communities very friendly. I don't need the negativity in my life, and it's distracting, and it's insulting, and I'm sorry. I really wanted to show you guys and everyone else that doesn't know how cruelly people are treated on staff. But that's not the subject that people are interested in. People are interested in how freakish is it. It's a freak show. It's a circus freak show. And I feel like anyone, and this is what my post was about, that I got enough flack from a group that should be supportive of ex-Scientologists, as supportive as one group should be, because my post was about psychopaths. And if you were a Scientologist ever on staff, or even a public, but particularly staff, you are a psychopath. And that includes Leah Remini, Mike Rinder, Marty Rathbun, Debbie Cook. Anybody who has come out and spoken at one time was a fucking psychopath, okay? That includes me. That includes my brother. That includes everybody who was a Scientologist, was a psychopath, a manipulating, evil psychopath, thinking that they were doing a good thing. So, if people cannot own up to that and admit and talk about and show what it is that they did wrong, And this is a point of contention that might really press a lot of people's buttons in the wrong way, because this is something, unfortunately, that the church would throw at anyone speaking against Scientology, and I'm going to throw it there too, because this is true. I'm all for exposing the abuses in the church. There are many. But what is it that you did? And why is it that you're all only talking about what the church did? I want to show what I did to people. And there are other people who want to show what they did to me. And there are other people who want to show what they did to other people. And to me, that is a much more altruistic way to present this to the public. And journalism and the news and the feeding frenzy and the freak show is not something I am interested in at all. So, until something changes drastically, I'm just going to I'm just going to stop, because there's no point. Even if my videos got circulated through all of the groups and all of the circle, it's still just a freak show. Look at the new freak. And I'm not a freak. You know? I'm willing to talk about the things that I did. I've shared my experience, but I want to show how psychotic being a Scientologist is. And no one wants to see that. So, peace, man. All of you, I love you. I hate to say goodbye. And hopefully this won't be the last time you hear from me. But I just can't right now. It's just too ridiculous, you know. I won't be part of this freak show. I won't be part of the freak show. I'll be happy to show how damaging it is. But it's going to be done correctly. It'll be done the way, unfortunately, the only way to show it is to show the way LRH wants you to do it. And that's the real psychotic way. And I haven't seen it. You know, I've talked about it in other videos. There's a tiny, tiny little bit in Louis Theroux's movie, but not enough. Not enough to show the progressive destruction of a human life and their sanity. You can talk about it all you want. You can tell a million stories, but a picture is worth 1,000 words, and a video can change people's ideas. And I can't produce that video. Not without resources, you know. I've got I'm broke. I live with my parents. I'm about to have to file for disability because this is the third time that I've had to pull out this cane, and hopefully I won't have to pull out the wheelchair for a third time. So, and I'm in school, and you know, I like to spend time with my kids and do things that are fun. And to be honest, recreating life on staff ain't gonna be fun. But it's something that I believe should be done, but I can't do it with with no help. I've sent messages to all of the people that I thought could help, and there's no response. So, you know, I can't do it. I mean, I'm not going to do it, is what I'm saying. I'm not going to put all of my assets, resources, which I have nothing. So I'm not going to put my energy into it just to get sued, you know, just to get sued. I have nothing already, so don't feel like getting sued. Don't feel like being part of a freak show. And I'll admit I'm a little jaded about, you know, making an authentic effort to try and expose what it is really like to dehumanize people on a day-to-day basis, and to show that instead of just telling stories for people to eat popcorn and watch. So I hope you guys understand. You've been the most understanding group of people regarding this subject ever. So I trust you, and you should trust me, because whenever I stopped making videos, I left a video. It's called Ta-Ta for Now, and I said I'll be back whenever the time is right, and that's essentially what I'm saying again. It's not time. People aren't ready. I'm not going to be in the freak show, and the people who could help me aren't really interested. There's no exclusivity there. So, and I'm sure if anyone who is a part of that group that watches this will just grimace and I'm sorry, this is the fucking truth, and you know it. You got to show how this is happening to people. So you can tell all the fucking stories you want. It's not going to change people's minds about it. A picture is worth 1,000. I mean, you're in the press, you're in the media. A picture is worth 1,000 words. A video can change people's minds. I love all of you subscribers. I wish I could name you all, but just know that your support since really 2014, so 3 years of support, it's invaluable. You helped me out a lot, and I love you guys. And if anything, maybe I'll keep covering the psychological aspects that Kaiva Go put in the cyber psych video. I don't mind talking about psychology. I'm a big fan of it these days. So if you're into psychology, you know, you might get a little bit of my past experience in Scientology. But as far as showing something that needs to be seen, I don't have the support to do so. So if you feel so inclined, maybe you could write them. You know all of the sources that I'm talking, that I've mentioned. I don't even have to name them, because you know who they are. And with that, if my camera wasn't so well, if there wasn't a light right here, you could see how beautiful it is in Louisiana right now. There's a really beautiful foggy mist outside. And I'll leave it at that. Love you guys. Bye. Xenu, Xenu.